Okay, I guess this is my time to do the Sizzle Saturdays, right?
Sizzle.
Sizzle. So
It's our first official one, really, to be honest.
yeah, the one of the
Sizzle
topics
time.
I'm going to be talking about today is just, I guess, health, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, I just have a question for you guys. When you guys hear the word health, what do you guys think that means?
Body, mind, and spirit.
Diet,
Okay.
first thing.
Probably that too.
Yeah, exactly.
What you're eating.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so I'll just read to you guys like a definition. That pretty much means all of that, right? So, health is being able to accomplish everything you need and want to do during any given day, right? Just like overall. Now, when we talk about health, like what's like one word that like you can associate health to?
Fit.
Fit.
Yeah,
Okay.
fit.
Wellness.
Vitality.
Yeah, vitality is good.
Vitality.
Yeah, so the one where I want you guys to think about when you guys hear about health is equal is that health is equal to energy, right? And now, where do you guys think the energy comes from? Like from us, the human body.
Yeah.
Where do we generate energy? Like where does that come from?
From our cells, isn't it? Like deep inside.
Yeah,
Sugar.
And emotions.
exactly.
Coffee.
From the cells, pretty much, right? That's where like the you guys probably remember like the mitochondria is the powerhouse of the
Yeah, of
the
course.
cells, stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
Good stuff, right?
Of
So yeah,
course.
so the cells is where we produce our energy, right?
Yeah.
And then, energy is not only the basis of existence, is the fuel that makes everything in our lives real and also possible, right? Because let's say, you have a lot of dreams and a lot of goals, but if you don't have really the energy to do any of those things, then, then nothing's gonna work, right? Now, the quality of your life is gonna be the quality of the life of your cells, right? You guys, I don't know if you guys have maybe like high schooler, you guys like learn about this, but like what I'm gonna talk to you guys about today, it's gonna make so much sense, right? Like what you guys learned in the past, right? So so cells are super important, right? So they're a vital component to our human life, right? So now, what do you guys think that cells need in order to survive and thrive? So for example, humans, we need like water, food, shelter, right? Stuff like that. So what do you guys think that cells like need to in order to survive and thrive?
Oxygen.
The nutrients.
Oxygen, yes, that's a big one. There's mainly like three components, but
Food.
Yeah.
What do cells eat? Glucose?
Depends which cells, probably.
Yeah.
yeah, but the main thing is like like Cody said, oxygen, right? So cells need like oxygen, water, and also the ability to eliminate its own waste, right? Now, the reason why oxygen is important is because oxygen is the source of all energy in the body, right? So now we know energy is so important, but where do we get energy from? Through oxygen, right? Now, with oxygen, we're able to process and deal with all of these components that the body does, like eliminates waste, helps with respiration, circulation, and also digestions, right? So breath and oxygen is super important. And now, water, obviously, because, like 70-80% of our body is just water. So our water, our body has an abundance of water, right? Now, what do you guys think that causes cells to die, right? Because now we learn that cells are super important for everything in life, gives us energy, oxygen, super vital. But what causes those cells to die? What do you guys think those things are?
Lack of the things that we talked about.
Probably
Yes.
sugar.
Exactly, lack of oxygen, yeah, that's a big one. Yeah, sugar. So the main things are, lack of oxygen, right? Because without oxygen, cells die, right? So, if we don't have oxygen, we die, right? Now, the second thing is any disturbance to the electrical fields, right, of the cells, can kill them, right? Kind of like radiation and things like that, right? That also
Okay.
kills the cells. And then the other thing is any physical rupture in cells can also kill them. So this can also be described as like stress, right? And you guys have probably heard, there's different types of stress, right? There's like, chronic stress, right? Which is the bad, which is the one that you consistently deal with on a daily basis, right? But we also need the good kind of stress, right? Because it's the one that's going to help us, if we're in danger, our body fills with adrenaline, that's a good stress to have, right? And then we're able to fight or flight situation, right? Yeah, exactly, right? And what do you guys think what is the primary medium that delivers oxygen and nutrients to the body? The medium.
Blood?
Yeah, blood, exactly.
Okay.
Cody is 85.
Cody's a green.
Yeah, exactly.
Blood type AB actually.
Yeah, so so blood is pretty much like the river of life, right? Blood, transport oxygen and nutrients to pretty much body tissues, and it helps us to eliminate waste, right? So through blood, we're able to carry oxygen to every part of our body, right? Our brain, our muscles. When we exercise, we deliver through blood oxygen to those muscles to recover and things like that, right? Now, similar to that question, what's the primary medium for eliminating waste, right? Because now we learned that not only is important to have oxygen, but also to be able to eliminate waste through the cells. So what's the primary medium for eliminating waste? What do you guys think that is?
Probably blood.
No? It's something like
Is it
that.
sweat? Like what different
It can be, yeah.
glands that you eliminate through? Like
Yeah, so
Certain organs.
yeah, certain organs too. So the main thing is the lymphatic system. I don't know if you guys have heard about the lymphatic system.
nodes, that's right.
Yeah, exactly, right? And so the lymphatic system works closely with the circulatory systems, to clear and return tissue fluids to the blood, and destroys toxins that enter the body, right? So that's kind of like the wonderful thing like immune system, right? Like our defense mechanism and things like that. But this is it needs to be in constant flow, right, through our whole body. And we have 3 times more lymph nodes than we have blood, right? So that's why it's super important. Just if you guys see like a map, you guys see all these branches all over more than blood, just because it's super important to be able to eliminate waste, right? In order for us to have more energy, right, and to be more healthy, right? Produce vitality, right?
That's interesting.
Now, in order to clean and keep the flow of the lymph nodes going, right? We need basically 4 things, right? So number 1 is eliminating the waste, right? Excessive waste.
Mm-hmm.
We also need to have the right nutrients, right, to support the lymph nodes. We also need water, obviously, because with water it's pretty much we need everything, right, to keep flushing everything to our body, right? And then lastly is this might be interesting for you guys. It's a deep diaphragmatic breathing. What's it called? For the breathing from the diaphragm. That's how
Deep breathing. Yeah.
diaphragmatic. Well, okay.
Diaphragmatic.
Yeah, deep diaphragmatic breath, right? Because with that, what's happening when we do that deeply, right? We're collecting oxygen inside of us, right? And then because it's deep, right? When we breathe out, right, we're eliminating those wastes, right? Now, I'm just gonna quickly transition to we're gonna transition. Yeah, perfect time. Now we're just gonna transition to what's called I call kind of like a morning routine, right?
Okay.
And you guys will see that I integrate part of what I talked about into my routine, right? So now here comes the interactive part. So part of my morning routine, right? It's basically 4 things. I'll do it with you guys too. So the first thing is, I guess I'll just get right here.
I don't have them right here. Maybe this is good for me.
So this is just, there is many daily routines, but this is kind of the one I do, right? So the first thing I do oops, if you guys would just follow along just for this one, even though you might not never use it in your life, but just follow along for today. So the first thing I do, it's called a power list, right? So ideally this is 3 to 5 things that you write that you need to accomplish for that day, right? So the first one that you write, that has to be you have to do that one today. So for example, for us, it might be, I don't know, maybe close a deal or reach a prospect, right? Or, contact a client, stuff like that, right? So if you do that number 1 thing, right? You can be, go to bed happy that, okay, I had a good day today, right? Whatever that might be, right?
You said 5 things?
Yeah, 5 things, right?
Okay.
And then usually, you start from the nighttime routine. You maybe write 1 or 2, but that's a different topic. So yeah, 5 things, right? Ideally, don't have it too long because otherwise you're just gonna too much, right? And then yeah, so the second thing I do, it's called I just write the 4 agreements. I don't know if you guys have read the book 4 Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz. He's a really good author. So it's called
4 agreements.
Yeah, 4 agreements, and then I'm just gonna write them in the board too.
Who's the author?
It's called Don Miguel Ruiz. It's kind of funny.
Nice.
And then yeah, so number one is be impeccable with your word. Right, so be impeccable with your word. So essentially, it means like don't lie. If you say something, do it, right? Just stick to what you say and stuff like that, right? Number two is do not take things personally, right?
Hmm.
You don't want to solar just because you don't like
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, especially with this job.
after a while, sometimes.
Especially if like you're knocking doors or doing sales, right?
We don't
Sometimes
necessarily know, right?
we might like think things that personally. I know I for sure did when I was working for Vivint, right? Just knocking doors and people were like rejecting you all the time. I took that personally, so that affected me like big time, right? But if you think if you have the mindset of okay, don't take things personally, right? Because people might have things going on, right? Like family passed away or had a bad day, things like that, right? So never take things personally, right? So number three, it's do not assume things.
Mm-hmm.
Right, so do not assume.
That literally pops up daily on my phone.
Yeah, do not assume things because I quickly learned this when I was with my girlfriend. I was just getting to know her and stuff, and I was assuming things, right? And that's literally the only reason why we fought 2 times, because the first time was she has a bunch of friends on Snapchat, right? So I thought, oh, she's the type of girl who just entertains a bunch of guys, right? So when I said that to her, she she just broke down because she just had a traumatic experience in the past, but I didn't really knew that was not the case, right?
Yeah.
So again, it was assuming, and I do this. I'm trying to do this less because I've noticed that every time that I assume something, right? Let's see, for this job when I knock the door, right? And then if you assume that you're gonna disturb them or something like that, right? Then you're gonna be perceived as that, right? Where in reality, they might be in the backyard, they might not be home, they might have headphones, a lot of things can be
In
happening.
the garage under their car.
Exactly, right? So never assume things, right?
It's good. I like that.
Now, lastly of the 4 agreements is always do your best. So always do. Right, so always do your best. You guys probably have heard that before, right? It's kind of self-explanatory, but it's also when you write every day, just a good reminder to, okay, I gotta do my best, Even if I don't hit everything on my list, I'm gonna try, the best of my abilities to accomplish those things, right? So always do your best, right? Now, the next thing I do is I just do, we're just gonna do 5 things, I guess.
Feel free to raise anything you want.
Okay, is this gonna resist?
Yeah, you can.
So that's going in a funny order. So the same thing I do in my morning routine is just a gratitude list. Where is it? Gratitude. List. So I always write 10 things every day, but just for the purpose of this, I want you guys to write just 5 things, right? Just whatever that is, right? Just 5 things really quick, right? I always write I'm so happy and grateful that I was able to wake up today, right? Because not many people have that privilege of waking up, and sometimes we take that for granted. And this is really good because you guys also into personal development, things like that. You guys see that people who are successful also have a mind of a gratitude, right? Even though they have more, it's abundance, right? They're what's it called? They're a magnet for stuff like that. If you have a good mindset, right, with that gratitude.
Abundance mentality.
Yeah. So by writing just really quickly, I'm grateful for my life, my mom, my dog, because I have a roof over my head, I have an opportunity to work, every day, impact the life, hundreds of people, stuff like that, whatever you guys might feel for that day. And then lastly, I always write at the last one, I'm happy and grateful for all my wins, my losses, and all my lessons learned, right? Because this puts you into, again, with this, it doesn't have to be with this job or with anything in life, right? It just puts you into this mindset of, okay, you're telling, I guess either the universe, God, whatever you believe in, that, I'm okay with winning, I'm okay with losing, right? Because with those things, I'm able to learn new opportunities and new lessons that are able to help me, grow even further, right? I know after I do like those same things, I always try, I am ready to win. So I'm ready to win. Right, again, just to keep, like your mind in this like state of like, okay, like I'm gonna win no matter what happens today, I'm gonna do my best and I'm always ready to win, right? Again, like opening yourself, your mind, body, and spirit to like pretty much success, right? You're ready to win, right? For whatever comes your way. And then lastly, I guess this fourth thing I do, it's just called, and I've been doing this lately, it's just called a love letter to money. So I got this from, this is a book called, something about wealth, but essentially what this is like you're writing a letter to money, right? So you said like something like, I don't know, like dear money or something like that, right? And you treat money like a person in your life, right? Like a spouse or something, right? And then as you write this, you understand your relationship that you have with money, right? So for example, you might say, dear money, I'm so upset at you because I couldn't find you yesterday, right? Or stuff like, I'm really looking forward to have you every day in my life, right? Yeah. I'm always really happy and excited whenever whenever I see you, right? So this just puts you in this all is going to help you to like change your relationship with money, right? Because most people they don't really know the money is so important, right? And all of this is just to like help like your mindset, right? And also the way to attract things, again, like a mindset of abundance, right? So, and then here you also write things that you want like on the future regarding to money. So you can say like, dear money, thank you because it's December 31st, 2022, and I've made X amount, right? And with this money, it's going to help me to, impact the lives of, hundreds of people. I'm going to donate certain amounts, right? I'm going to take my kids to Disneyland or something like that, right? Because when you treat money, good, right? Even though it sounds funny, right? Because it's just a new concept for you guys. But when you guys like treat money, like good, like always in abundance, right? You're going to get more out of it, right? That's just the way, the universe, God, whatever you guys believe in, right? Higher energy, right? That's the way it works, right? And then, so you just write that, right? And then at the end, you just put like your name, like sincerely, and then you just sign your name, right? So it's like sincerely, right? And then you just sign. And then the last thing I do, it's like a visualization, kind of like meditation, breathing exercise too, right? So I'll use one that has Tony Robbins is the one, he already has it on there. So could we get that working, or what would be the best?
You want to shoot something?
It's just a YouTube video.
Okay.
And then I'll explain you guys why.
Yes.
I know my routine. I wake up, get dressed, and leave the house. That's it. I don't think about like.
Do you want to just shoot something up to this, like through the iPad? Maybe.
If you have.
Because this is a Google Team, so you should be able to do YouTube like right through.
Jerk one off and then.
This doesn't connect right away, then I'm changing the wires.
Yep, clean pipes, go to work.
It's supposed to right away. Is this your? You could just use an iPad if you want.
We'll just my breakfast is.
Oh, there you go.